Welcome back, Flare community. I hope you're all well and having an incredible day as always. And yes, it is a Wednesday. We're doing the weekly news update a day early. But yeah, I hope you're all well regardless. And we're going to jump straight in usual fashion. And that is going to be starting, well, I guess here with this video of Hugo. Looking pretty happy. We have seen some nice price action with FLR over the past week, and it's very much welcomed. And you know, if you do like that kind of price action, let people know about it, because community and exposure is what really brings attention to the network. That, and of course, alongside developer activity. I'm going to go straight over to the Flare FTS Monitor to check out the top performing signal providers or data providers during this current epoch, which is almost over. Topping the charts, we have ACDT FTSO. In second place here, we have the Grungies. In third place, we have Lena Instruments. In fourth place, we have Ivy Oracle. And in fifth place, we have Nordso. So congratulations to all of the data providers making it into the top 5 this week. Moving over to NFTs and the rankings there. On xHaven, we have topping the chart Block Bonez. In second place, we have Focus Pass. In third place, we have the Block Bonez traits. In fourth place, Flare Rock. And in fifth place, Metalheads. So that's the top 5 over on xHaven. We're going to go to True Gems. We've got True Gems Genesis Collection. Way to F Assets in second place. Third place is Dan Rocky. Fourth place is Flareware. And in fifth place, another Dan Rocky NFT. Moving along here, we've got this news here. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but the F Asset Open Beta has a refreshed homepage. This is what it looks like. There's a new asset in town, and that is, of course, Dogecoin. So if you are participating in the open beta, you can play around with not just XRP, not just Bitcoin, but also Dogecoin as well. If you didn't know, there's a couple of proposals that are active right now, FIP 11 and SIP 05, which pave the way for better Flare enshrined oracles. This result, if passed, would give fairer rewards for the data providers, adaptive to market conditions, and also boosts network decentralization. And that's saying quite something, because the Oracle, or the Flare Time Series Oracle, is already the most decentralized Oracle in the space. If you want to hear more about this, you can check it on flare.network. They got all of the news updates that they officially announce over on the flare.network website. This news here from FYEO, which is a Web3 security auditor. They've completed Flare Network's data availability layer audit. So this is going to be, I assume, interacting with the FTSO and the ability to retrieve data in a secure manner. Data Availability Service is a Django application for handling and validating attestations and feed data tied to the Flare blockchain, focusing on cryptographic validation, and you can read the report here. Moving on, yes, this was big news. USDX has been listed. So USDX being listed on a centralized exchange was one of the precursors, or is one of the precursors, for the F asset system to launch on Songbird. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, it is currently being tested on Coston, but it is just around the corner for Songbird. It looks like we have all of the criteria needed. And I did just actually want to elaborate on this, because the listing is not what makes F assets available. So let me just quickly read this for you. When F assets, well, it's not instantly. A precursor for the F asset system going live, as per Hugo, is to have a listing of USDX on a centralized exchange, which of course we now have. To expand further, infrastructure providers and agents need to integrate this feed into their systems to support the fundamental functionality of the F asset protocol. So just bear that in mind. This is the next step. Of course, all of the agents and infrastructure providers now need to integrate this. It is fairly trivial because I'm sure they've integrated many different assets. So I feel like F Assets is just around the corner. Of course, Hugo has said many times that it's going to be going live on Songbird by the end of the year, which isn't too far away. Something to look forward to. FLR's USDX Stablecoin introduces treasury yields to decentralized finance, challenging established players like USDC and USDT in terms of economic utility. So USDX is quite a different beast. This is a stablecoin that has integrated treasury yields. It means that all of the funds, or I imagine at least a high portion of the funds, or the dollars that are backing this stablecoin, are used to buy treasuries, which give a yield, and that is forwarded to the holders of the USDX stablecoin. So yeah, it's a completely different thing, and I'm glad to see it natively issued onto the FLR network. If you didn't already know, we're saying goodbye to FTSO V1. The second version, V2, is going to be going live, I believe it's this week now. And if you want to continue receiving FLR delegation rewards, you need to be sure that you're delegating to a data provider that supports V2. I'm actually looking forward to just referencing the FTSO as just the FTSO. There is one version after this, and that is going to be V2, which we can just from now on, here on forth, just call it the FTSO. If you want to get a list of all eligible data providers, this is the link that you want to go to. And I have talked about this many times before, but I always get the question asked over and over again. In fact, I'll probably leave a link in the description if you want to check if your signal provider is providing support for V2. This is just a quick look at the website here. All of these that you can see are supporting V2. But again, I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to check yourself. This is some news from the King, King Solomon, quite a legend in the space, an OG when it comes to XRP, one of the first YouTubers that I followed. He was scoping out the GitHub repository, which is basically where the FLR team are uploading code to the protocols. Foundation developers are busy exploring new FLR network feeds. So this very much ties into the FTSO. What prices can we get from the FTSO? It looks like there's going to be Peanut the Squirrel. I'm not sure about that. Mantra, and also Hedera, which is a welcome site, also known as HBAR. Harnessing FLR DeFi yield. Yes, DeFi is very much thriving on the FLR network. There's the SparkDex AI, we've got Kinetic Market, we've got Enosis, we've got Scepter, we've got Dinero, BlazeSwap, Crypto Rubik, which I'll talk about in just a second. We've got Rain Protocol, Steer Protocol, Clearpool Finance, XDeFi Protocol, which should be launching pretty soon, and Stargate Finance, and finally, Layer Zero Labs. Lots of activity, lots of applications that are launching, and of course, this is going to do wonders for the metrics of the FLR network. So what is that Rubik thing? Rubik, Crypto Rubik here, a new chain, alert. Rubik now supports the FLR network, the blockchain built for data on our best rate finder app. So basically does what it says on the tin. This is a decentralized exchange aggregator, meaning it checks all of the prices and gives you the best rate. So it's supporting BlazeSwap, it's supporting Enosis, SparkDex AI, and Stargate Finance. So obviously these are the decentralized exchanges, and Stargate Finance is the bridging protocol. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff, and this is what it basically looks like. You connect to your wallet as you normally would, and you click on the assets that you may want to swap here. We just go like this, and I don't know, enter an amount. And then you can see it's actually searching for the best rate. Of course, this is on BlazeSwap and Enosis, but you can type in any asset you like here, and yeah, Rubik will do all of the hard work for you and give you the best rate, also taking into account the liquidity as well. So Yeah, definitely a useful tool, similar to Amigi, which I think launched by from Bifrost or 2O Labs. Just another application that is launching on the Flare network. Sticking on the theme of decentralized exchanges, this is from Anosis, just announced today. New APS or APSIS incentive pools have been added to DEX v3 on Flare. These incentives will run for the next 90 days. Additionally, incentive APY estimates have been added to the user interface. Individual APY will vary based on liquidity concentration. So this is probably the hardest bit for the team that have been building this. The APY is very personal to you because it depends on your position that you've taken, where you've chosen to put your tick range, where the liquidity is that you've provided. It's different from everyone else. Now, if you're providing liquidity on an exchange or a decentralized exchange like BlazeSwap, which is a V2 variation of Uniswap, there is everyone's position is the same, right? It's just the amount of liquidity. But here, with a V3 style decentralized exchange, you get to choose where you want to place that liquidity, which makes it a lot more efficient. But of course, a lot harder to calculate APYs because it's done on a case-by-case basis. Anosis have also announced their FLR Rewards for the current epoch. So if you want to check them out too, you can do so here. We've got all of the different pools, and you can find more details if you want to look at this a little bit closer. Just follow at Anosis_global. Silver here retweeting a Block Bonez post. It's going to be quite special, you know. Block Bonez will be the first NFT collection on the Flare network to reach 20 million FLR in volume. That is quite a amount, and honestly, there's not that much competition right now, and it just goes testament to the project that I guess I've been building and the popularity that it's had with the community. Dynamic NFTs with rarity-based rewards coming later this year. We actually broke a record in terms of special traits. This one is the Hercules' Lion. And this sold for 225,005 FLR. This is, of course, a special trait. You get many different benefits from it. You get a maximum trade rewards. You get Bonez coin auction rebates. And finally, royalty share on the entire Block Bonez collection until 2026. In addition to that, there is a new one that has just launched. This is the Godzilla. It's currently on auction. It's going to be ending a week on Sunday, and this one is, of course, held exclusively in BNZ. So if you want to check that out, you can go to blockbonez.com/auction. This is an interesting application built by Orus Ox, the absolute legendary signal provider here from the very start. I'm sure you've seen them over on X. Powered by the Flare network, and they've been audited by FYEO, the same company that's audited the smart contracts on the Flare network that we mentioned earlier in the video. This is basically a crypto wallet that is using account abstraction, if I'm not mistaken. The future of crypto is here, introducing Ox and Flow, the simplest way to manage your FLR with only a passkey. Experience true ownership without the hassle. Their application is live on the App Store right now. If you want to support Orus Ox, feel free to give it a download and give it a try. We've seen a recent launch of 2 meme coin launch pads. We've got Gems Pump and Flare Launchpad. Of course, meme coins aren't going anywhere. It looks like they're here to stay. You guys know my thoughts on meme coins. I've pretty much made it very clear. But yeah, if you are into that thing, into gambling and trying to get in as soon as possible to sell on to other people, you may want to check these out. Finally, this is just a warning. You know, the price action really has been quite optimistic recently, and I just want to let you know that it's always wise to have multiple off-ramps on standby. What do I mean by that? Well, I think it's important to register for multiple exchanges, just in case you want to sell any assets. We know that historically, in previous bull runs, when transaction volume gets high on centralized exchanges, they have a tendency to go down and unable to provide the infrastructure for such demand. Of course, there is the option to use decentralized exchanges, which never actually go down. The decentralized exchanges, the infrastructure behind that is actually the network itself, rather than servers for a centralized entity. So just a little bit of a warning there. Always best to be prepared. I think for the Patreon members, I'm going to be talking about my exit strategy and how I plan to capitalize, hopefully, on an upcoming bull run. Of course, nothing is set in stone, but I am fairly optimistic. I guess time will tell. So that is the news for this week. I would like to thank you all so much for watching. Please, if you did like the video, feel free to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Do have an incredible rest of the week and future weekend ahead. I wish you all the best of luck with your trades. And yeah, until next time, I'm out.